once again for joining us this evening. It's Nano Motibi on Nubian Crescent on YouTube TV. I am joined today by my friend Untombo Mzimgada as we continue to celebrate the crowning of Miss Chudufatso Musida as Miss South Africa 2020. I've asked Ntombi to join me because she's one friend of mine who's always said she will never wear fake hair. And ever since I've known her, I've never seen her with extensions. I've never seen her with anything other than her own hair. So Ntombi, when did you make the decision to never ever wear fake hair again, if it's the correct word, or extensions or whatsoever?
Okay, maybe just a little bit of introduction or background of how I even was introduced to the fake or European hair, as it were. It was in 2006 when I went to varsity, the University of the Western Cape. Of course, I had friends there, and because the standard of beauty, as it still is, was that Western hair is nicer. Of course, I fell into that trap as well. And in 2011, I realized that it does not make sense for me to be enhancing other people's cultures, as it were. And I think spiritually as well, it went deeper for me, where I realized my hair is actually making me more confident, it's making me more grounded. And I think from then I realized that my hair is supposed to be like this, that's why it's like this. And I decided to embrace and celebrate it as I am doing now.
And earlier on I asked you that what is it that that is about African beauty, especially the hair part of it, that seems less feminine? You know, we were talking earlier that when you cut your hair, then you look exactly the same as a male figure. You know, and whereas, you know, it's easier to think you look sexier when you have longer hair. And we were talking about, and we were saying that there's a reason for that. And why do we think that longer hair is more feminine?
Again, it's a societal thing that longer, silky hair is nicer. Even if you look at adverts, I mean, look at the debacle of what was going on with cliques. There's this common perception that when your hair is silky and is longer, it's nicer. I don't believe that an African woman with short hair doesn't look nice. Look at Zozibini, she is pretty. Honey, she is pretty, even when she's waking up. And I mean, even if you look at the current Miss South Africa with the bold hair, she looks pretty. You can tell the difference between her and the man. Again, it's just a societal thing. And again, it's also about businesses wanting to sell products. Of course, they will sell this narrative that you have to do certain things so that their businesses can continue. But I think what is important now is for us as African women to realize that our hair is enough. We just have to embrace it. And I think there is now a wave of women really changing and coming back to their roots and really living their own hair. And that revolution is continuous, and I cannot wait to see the complete revolution, as it were.
And we were talking earlier on about how it's an acquired taste, you know. It's easy to think that longer hair is prettier, is feminine. That's an obvious distinction. It's an obvious, it sells itself easily, yes. But, you know, I think African beauty is an acquired taste. It is a taste for the refined and trained eye. And in the same way, European beauty, it was, you know, hammered into us until it felt like a natural default aesthetic. In the same way, we have to keep training our eyes to appreciate African beauty more and more. And it takes us, it has to be a conscious effort for it to become, you know, it's like everything when you start it, it's difficult. But as you keep on doing it, it becomes easier and easier.
Absolutely.
And it's an acquired taste because, you know, it's easier to think something that's brighter, it's more beautiful. I remember my aunt, who's an artist. She had a painting in her house, and it was a very dark, dull, scary painting. And I read an article where she was asked about why she supported this artist. And she said that I supported this artist because it's easier to use bright colors to create happiness. It doesn't take a brain, it doesn't take creativity, it doesn't take anything out of you to create happiness and something good out of something negative or something that is not perceived as
being
positive.
pride.
But
Absolutely.
she said, I commend the artist because he used very dark colors, and yet when you look at the painting, it invokes feelings of happiness. And I think that's what African beauty is about. It's a beauty that is unexpected. It's a beauty that is deeper. It's not a shallow type of beauty that you're like, oh, pretty. No, no, no. You have to search for it. You have to look for it. And that's why even earlier we were talking about how African hair is like a crown. African women's hair, the way it sits on the head is like a crown, because it represents the depth of our thoughts,
Absolutely.
the depth of our identity, you know, and you've never seen a crown that is, you know, that goes over your head. A crown must sit tightly on the head, and that is what we represent as African women. We are the matrix of humanity.
Absolutely, and I think we are missing a point in the sense that if you have a big afro and you blow it out, it can actually look like the Western hair that we want so much. Really, I don't think it's important that we continuously have those conversations. And I think as individuals, as you are saying, we are collectively coming together to make the revolution, to come to a point where we appreciate African beauty, as it were, because it's not on your face like a prima facie kind of a thing.
Yes.
It's something that is deep because it stands the test of time. So we must really, really embrace who we are and continue celebrating our being.
And finally, the difference between, I've seen you with braids. What is the difference between braids and a weave? Why
Yeah.
sometimes do you have braids and sometimes you have a weave? Instead of having a weave, but you are able to have braids.
Well, braids are an African thing. They were back in the days, well, before we were even born. Braids, that's what women used to use to beautify themselves. Because at the end of the day, we are still women and we have to look pretty and we do different things in our heads. But what is important is to stay within the confines of the African beauty, and braids form part of that. That's why you won't see Europeans with braids unless they are trying to celebrate the African culture, as it were.
Well, guys, join us next time. We are going deeper into this because it gets really deep. But thank you so much. We're going to leave it there for today. A beautiful night. We are coming to you from our holiday home in Harte PS. We're on holiday, and that is why we're looking so relaxed. It's been a beautiful week, and thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. Bye.
Cheers.